Week 4 is in the books, and in my opinion, the NFL is still completely drunk because not only are the Chiefs undefeated, so are the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold's your comeback player of the year and MVP. Joe Flacco's back to throwing touchdowns. We're still living in bizarre world, but as we move on to week 5, we here at the Deli are here to break it down all for you on this early look show, the DFS Deli main slate. Come on in. Here we go. And welcome into the DFS Deli. I am the proprietor of this delicatessen, Saleh Ali Shahid, and I am joined tonight, of course, by two of my closest friends on the planet who, off air, listen to me vent about another topic in our lives, non-football related, for a good 30 minutes before I even turn on the camera. But we're here to talk about football and only football on the only first look show that matters on the internet. Chill, Baker, welcome back to work. Welcome to week 5, the DFS Deli. Chill, how's everything going for you tonight, man?
It's going pretty good. Didn't have the best week last week, but we bounced back and just get ready to dive on in and into the slate here and let's see what week 5 has in store for us. Week 5, right?
Yeah, week 5. I don't think we need to say the cliche, oh, the season is going by so fast. I mean, but here we are. Week 5, we got ourselves a overseas game coming up over the weekend. So that's cool. So you get to wake up first thing on Sunday and enjoy some football. So that's always nice. MLB playoffs going on now. So you got our hometown Cleveland Guardians about to defend home turf against the Detroit Tigers. So that's an exciting time here. Baker, what's going on in your world, man? What's the word? How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling fantastic. Staying busy, staying ready. Been on the golf streets, packing up a house, getting ready to move. Found out some news about my move to Columbus, which pissed me off earlier this week. I'm kind of sharing the same sentiment as you that we talked about off air, but instead of it being about females, I'm pissed at the Arizona Cardinals because they be tricking me to thinking that they actually something when these ain't.
Yeah, I mean, no, you will not get me off topic. I refuse, damn it. Because as much as I want to compare, the Arizona Cardinals ain't being and most women not being cause I got some special ones in my life. And I know, Baker, you trying to work on a little something too, because I think you need to just consider Kyler like that ex. You just need to let go, man. It's over. We had a good time.
Me and Kyler still trying to work some things out. Like, it's like, come on, baby. We could work through this. We could work through this, baby.
No, as Baker, as your best friend, as your closest friend, you know how much I love you. And I want to let you know that this relationship with Kyler Murray is toxic. It's very toxic. And I don't want you to go back. You've lost enough money on Kyler Murray this year, so it's time to let him go. Move on to a new boo. His name's Jaden Daniels.
No, and Jaden Daniels, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the new thing on the block. You know what I'm saying? But he's that new. But I don't like new.
But he's so hot. And I think you can pull him. I think you can pull him.
Here's the thing. Kyler is old and busted. Jaden Daniels is the new hotness. I don't know why. I'm saying I keep going back to old and busted.
Baker, old and busted would be, Deshaun Watson.
Nah, he's just busted.
But at one time, though, he was hot. At one time. There once was a time that he was hot.
There was a time I didn't have facial hair too, but we don't talk about that.
We just did. You showed us the picture. I digress. If you don't know what we do here on the DFS Deli, we break down position by position our favorite plays of the main slate. And if you're on FanDuel, you get that stupid night game that keeps costing me money every week. Freaking Derrick Henry doing what he had to do cost me several hundred freaking dollars. But no, FanDuel keeps that stupid game on the freaking main slate. I'm surprised the London game ain't on there this week. You dumbass freaking website.
You could just come over to DraftKings. You could be a full-time DraftKinger like myself.
It's full-time Draft King. Big king.
Big catch king, homeboy. What are you?
I don't think I can do it, man. But, I think my relationship with FanDuel is toxic, to be honest. Yeah,
I think this is week number 4 in a row of going on a FanDuel rant.
Until we need to put out a petition. You know what? Those of you that get to watch on YouTube, do me a favor. Do the DFS Deli a favor. Put down in the comment section below F FanDuel for the night game. That's all you need to comment. F FanDuel for the night game. And that's all I ask for you. We do this show for free, give out knowledge for free, because last week, some of them plays, boy, we hit.
So is the comments down below our tip jar?
No. Baker, before we jump into our favorite plays, starting at the quarterback position, of course, yes. You know what we have to do first, right?
We pouring one out?
Yeah, it's that time. Everybody join us in raising the glass for our fallen last week. Most notably, Brandon Cooks. He's going to be out another week. So pour one out for did we lose another receiver too? Patrick Mahomes for single-handedly ruining Rashee Rice's season. So let's pour one out for Rashee, and we wish you a speedy recovery. Rip Rashee Rice. How you injure your best player on your own F up?
Throws a pick and then takes his knees out.
I want your opinion. Do you think the Chiefs trade for Amari Cooper?
I don't think they trade for anybody.
I think if they trade, it's for Tyreek Hill.
Oh, just go all in.
Yep.
I don't feel like building that all over again. I really don't.
I think if they do trade, it would be for Tyreek.
Talk about reuniting with your ex, huh?
I mean, just bring this conversation full circle.
Exactly.
I mean, Tyreek makes the most sense, and especially where the Dolphins are at right now, like you'd kind of be really silly not to take a call or to shop them.
It'll be a matter of the cap.
Listen, they can restructure. You can make it into guaranteed money or bonus money. The Dolphins can pay it. The Chiefs can pay the rest. Like, there's so many ways around the NFL cap. Like, Pat Mahomes can just restructure his deal for a year. Like, you can make it work.
That's all true. I just think, like, what makes the most sense is probably Amari Cooper, because, like, you only have control of him this year. He's a free agent next year. The cap hit is nothing. They can already afford it without restructuring too many people. You can tell he hates Cleveland already. The Browns ain't going nowhere. So it's like, I think it's going to be Amari if they make a trade.
Does he hate Cleveland or does he hate his quarterback?
Ooh. Aren't they synonymous with one another? Doesn't Deshaun Watson play in Cleveland?
Well, he loved Joe Flacco when he was here last year.
Oh, so. He was loving him some Joe Flacco, boy. You know who else was loving some Joe Flacco? All the Colts receivers.
All the Colts receivers who are possession guys.
Yeah.
The down the field guys had a bad time.
Hey, man, we saw Pity City put his hand up through the grave. But unfortunately, it looks like Unfortunately, it looks like we won't get the Joe Flacco experience this week. So Anthony Richardson
Boo.
looks like he'll be okay. Exactly. Boo.
Boo.
Could
I
have been a
agree.
fun ride.
Oh man, that would have been the first quarterback I'm talking about here in a second. Just loading up Joe Flacco.
Oh yeah.
So, but let's get into it. Favorite quarterback plays. Early look. 50,000-foot view of the slate. Chili, I'll start with you. Where are you looking at quarterback this week?
Yeah, I mean, a couple quarterbacks I'm looking at this week, specifically here. Kind of looking at Jordan Love this week. He didn't have a really good first half against the Vikings, but seemed to click as that game went on. I don't know how much you want to take into account that it may have been garbage time, but he did almost bring him back. I mean, it's kind of fun to think about that the Packers with Jordan Love this season are 0-2. Kind of hilarious to think about. But he is in a good matchup this week against the Rams defense, who at the end of the day, it's not very good. And I don't think the Packers are going to fully abandon this running game, but it does look like they're going to be predominantly a passing team. His wide receivers may be a little bit chalky, so maybe a little bit of a chalky move here, but it is a good matchup. So I do like Jordan Love this week. I do like me some Brock Purdy this week as well, going up against the Cardinals. Again, the Cardinals defense, these boys do get cooked every week. He's starting to get his team back, and even without having the full cast of Avengers around him, he's been playing really well. Some of his other pieces may be a little bit chalky, so it'd make you a little bit different to kind of put Purdy in that lineup as well. Just kind of taking a look here at some of the other guys. I may go back to Caleb Williams this week. That Panthers defense is not very good either. Caleb seems to be kind of getting more and more into a groove here. Could be the sneaky shootout game, quote unquote, but just kind of taking a look here. I mean, there's obviously I'll leave some of these other guys to you. I don't want to kind of point out the obvious plays, but those are kind of some of the different quarterbacks I'm looking at this week.
Baker, I have to comment on you're rocking the Twinsburg Tigers shirt today.
Well, you yelled at me when I wore my other shirt of last week or the week before.
The week before, yeah.
So you yelled at me when I wore that.
With a comment on, the Twinsburg representation, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got to represent for my Tigers. My 20th year graduation celebration or whatever was just this past Saturday. Not that I went, but still.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Yeah, so all the pictures of a bunch of people who I don't know, don't care to know. It was cool. Oh, that's so fucked up to say.
I didn't go to mine either.
It's like, 20 years out of high school, let's have a reunion. I don't care.
Right. I saw my pictures too. It looks like they had a good time.
It looked like, about 15 people had a fantastic time.
About 15? I think that's what mine was too. It was not the best turnout, a graduating class of 150 something when 20 people show up.
Not good.
Not good there, guy. Chill. I kind of agree on one player, and that's Caleb Williams. I would say yes, sneaky shootout potential here. And then I think the consensus kind of not argument, but statement around the DFS industry is that Caleb Williams 1 week is going to break the shit out of a slate. And this could be that week. And I think he makes for an interesting pivot play as well, because for some reason, people think DeAndre Swift is actually a good running back, and he's not. So if he's going to be semi-popular, I think the move is definitely going to that passing game. So I do like the Caleb Williams play. Baker, who you got, man?
So this is the interesting point in time in the season, because we have, 4 games, decent sample size of information. So we kind of recognize what teams are bad in what areas, and you can kind of really start to hone in on things. My love affair with Kyler Murray will not stop. But I will say this for my love affair with Kyler Murray. I will use him as a late swap only. I will not build with Kyler Murray. So
I don't.
if I'm
I think.
dying,
I think
I
this
move
is
him.
the week to play him.
I mean, this is definitely I feel like this is the week to play him. I just don't know if I have the heartbreak in me to get my heart
I
broken for
mean,
a fifth week in a row.
he's going to be less than 5%.
The Cardinals will be less than 10% as a team.
I mean,
The entire team.
and the 49ers do struggle with Kyler.
I mean, Kyler's had some good games, especially when he had some better pass catchers. I think last year he only had like 15 points in his one game. The year before that, I think he only played one game and had around 18-ish points. But before that, all his games were 20, mid to high 20s for him versus the 49ers. So I definitely don't mind the spot. I just don't know if I have the stones to, build my heart around this man again just for him to break it. I'm a little sensitive sometimes. I'm a little sensitive. And speaking of being sensitive, last week I built a decent amount of my lineups around Trevor Lawrence, and it almost worked out. It was almost there from a fantasy perspective. We're not talking real football right now. We agree that he's terrible in real football, but fantasy, he can be almost relevant sometimes. And this is the shootout of the week to me. Like, I don't see how both teams just don't run this shit up. Both defenses can't stop, the Twinsburg Tigers, as it were.
Hey.
Jacksonville's defense gives it up, and the Colts defense is bleeding points to any and everybody. Justin Fields and his Pittsburgh offense hadn't been good at all for the most part this year, and then Justin Fields goes ahead and he's your number one quarterback, tournament winning all over the place. So I definitely don't mind Trevor Lawrence for that reason and that reason only. It's 100% matchup. Caleb Williams, I love the Caleb Williams play. This is weird because we're never all in agreement on anything ever.
Yeah, take that shit to heart. Yeah, man.
That
we
kind
all
of
see the
scares me a
same
little
guy.
bit. That
You might
kind
want
of
to
scares me
consider
a little bit. But yeah, definitely love the Trevor Lawrence play. And the puke play of the week. The puke play at quarterback of the week is, we're playing versus there's the defense that is always giving. It's the Washington Commanders. So do we play last time I brought up Deshaun Watson, it worked out a little bit for him, a baby bit.
It did work out against the Giants.
So once again, I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't. Do not confuse these words. But Deshaun Watson, I think, versus the Commanders, you have to take it into play. This Commanders team gives it up in every way possible: inside, outside, upside, downside, right side, left side.
Minus the Kyler Murray.
Minus the Kyler Murray, because
On a
Kyler
short
Murray
week.
likes to break my heart. Because Kyler Murray loves to break my heart.
Well, you know what I have to say about that, Baker?
Ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I'm not playing in Deshaun Watson. It's not gonna happen. Now I might play some pass catchers. Catcher.
Well, Njoku might be back this week. Njoku might come back.
We'll see, but we'll get to wide receivers when we get there. But yeah, there might be a Browns pass catcher that I will consider against
Elijah Moore. Is it Elijah Moore?
It's not Elijah Moore.
Okay,
it's not Elijah Moore, but we'll get there. First of all, Geno Smith in the revenge game. Okay, we saw what he did against the Lions. And I already know there's a running back in that game that's probably going to be popular, but as he should be. But got to consider Geno in this spot. And we get the pleasure of having JA-17 on the main slate. So if Josh Allen is playing the game of football, you should always consider Josh Allen, especially after the drubbing that the Ravens put on that boy last week. I think it's time to bounce back a little bit. Maybe consider this game as a totality could be very stackable.
It's so expensive.
I mean,
this
it's
game
not.
is
It's
so
not. Obviously,
expensive.
playing Josh Allen will never be a bad move, but I think this Buffalo team is giving me 2023 Dallas Cowboy vibes, where when they play bad teams, they're gonna drub them. And then when they play good teams, they're going to struggle really bad.
I don't have that vibe at all. I just think the Ravens are really good. And they show why they're good. So, I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine with, like I said, stacking the holy hell out of this game. Obviously, JA-17's pass catchers are relatively inexpensive. And he's one of those guys that you don't necessarily have to stack. Maybe you just take, Cook and Josh Allen and walk away. Khalil Secure is emerging, so maybe even throw him in on the cheap. And then obviously on the other side, Nico Collins is Nico freaking Collins. So, I mean, you always got to take him into consideration. And I think he's still at a discount for his price. So, but we'll get through our receivers, but still. Yeah, those are definitely some of the quarterbacks I'm considering. Again, I like, we're all in agreement on Caleb. Again, Jaden Daniels, because he's going against Cleveland.
I mean, Jaden Daniels is I don't think we need to mention Jaden Daniels. Obviously, he's playing at an MVP level. He's at home playing a bad defense. So,
yeah, 100% agree. And again, I do like your take on Brock Purdy as well. I mean, this Cardinals team, yeesh, wow. And we'll get to running backs here in a second, but I think Brock Purdy does make for an interesting pivot play as well because everybody's going to be playing Jordan Mason. So if you just play the pass catchers, I think I think it's an interesting way to get around the field when it comes to ownership. So those are going to be some of the good ones. And I told y'all last week, man, I know he's not on the main slate this week, but, old Baker Mayfield. I gave y'all Baker Mayfield last week, and no one wanted to listen. So this week, we're giving you some bombs. You should pay attention to the things that the DFS Deli has to say to you. Are we ready to move over to running back?
I think so. I'm ready to move over to my lock position of the week.
Well, Baker, why don't you hit him with it, Zoe?
I mean,
you got to run back.
My one take is very simple. Play Jordan Mason and move the fuck on. Lock button of the week. 100% of my lineups will have Jordan Mason in them.
Baker, there's so many good running backs on the slate, though. Don't you think there's other places we could go?
And Jordan Mason's the best of them all.
Baker, before I let you, finish off the rest of your plays, because I know you are so high on Jordan Mason. Up top, I mean, we have our king, but our king is going to be popular this week.
He will be popular.
You know the rules.
He's popular. We don't play him.
Correct. So as I was saying, you got Kyren Williams, who is just the modicum of consistency when it comes to the running back position. This Rams offense runs through that guy. So we're going to talk about playing some of these Green Bay guys. On the other side, you have to consider Kyren. We saw Ken Walker go all nuclear on Monday night in his game, and he gets the blessing of the Giants at home this week. So on the mid-tier to upper end, you got to consider a guy like him. And then from my personal standpoint, on the other side of that Rams game is probably going to be a guy if you want a pivot play, because we already mentioned that the pass catchers for Green Bay are going to be popular. Jordan Love's going to be semi-popular, but I don't think anybody's going to want to play Josh Jacobs in this spot. I think he makes for a very sneaky, interesting kind of move here if you want to get off the beaten path. And one guy I'll mention before I let you have some other takes is, Chill, I'm sorry, but your team is ass. And I just literally watched one of the most boring games of all time in the Titans-Dolphins game on Monday.
I just want to say, for as bad as they are, I think Tyler Huntley did score more fantasy points than Josh Allen.
He did, but that's not neither here nor there. That's not here nor there.
I take that as a moral victory.
You know it's going to be a demoralizing victory when Ramondre Stevenson runs down that ass. Because if Tony Pollard can do it, Ramondre is going to make for one of the more interesting plays here on the slate.
I think he's going to wind up being chalk.
Oh no.
No one's going to play Ramondre.
I don't know. Here's the thing, like, we've had these weeks where it's like we don't think somebody's going to be chalk, and then when the cards turn, they're chalk. I don't know, man. Like, I think Ramondre winds up chalk.
Well, whatever the case is, it's still a good play, right? It's still a good play.
It's still a good play for obvious reasons, but, like, I'd rather play Achane at no ownership than Ramondre.
I'm not touching a Dolphin.
If Raheem is out, if Raheem Mostert is out, and you give Tyler Huntley another week in this offense, got to remember, like, he was fresh. So he gets a whole nother week in this offense to prepare. Like, let's not pretend that New England is a good team either.
Oh, they're not.
No. Oh no,
So
no, 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 no.
I would be willing to take Achan over Ramondre.
That's fair.
But
Baker, you
obviously,
already.
it's a good play.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that Ramondre is a really good play. I just don't know if he's chalk. I don't want to play chalk Ramondre.
I guess we'll shake out the ownership numbers here as the week goes along. But Baker, you did mention that you liked the numbers at the high end. Who else you got?
I mean, Kyron is the only play on the Rams. Like, if you tell me about playing another Ram, my answer is no. Not that, they can't be interesting and this team struggles in this area. I don't care. The Rams give the ball to Kyron. If somebody's scoring else besides Kyron, it's coming from like 50 yards out. Because once they get inside the 10, 20-yard line, it's the Kyron show.
2-2 at will, bro.
I will wear a 2-2 on this show if he outscores Kyron.
Baker, you already lost the prop bet last week when you told me that Mike Evans wasn't going to outscore Chris Godwin, and he did. So suck it. So I guess we'll take our 2-2 bet here.
It's a 2-2 and a 2-2 on the line. That's fine.
But I digress. Go on.
So, I mean, obviously, we're waiting on the Jonathan Taylor news to kind of, see what's going on with him as far as his high ankle sprain. Trey Sermon will become chalk. Like, I don't see how he doesn't become chalky if Jonathan Taylor misses. And if Jonathan Taylor somehow miraculously plays, I wasted all my fat budget in season long. But that's neither here nor there. If I'm not going to Deshaun Watson, and I know we're going to talk about a pass catcher, I still don't mind Jerome Ford because the Browns are the weirdest team in the world to me, and it's impossible for me to figure out Jerome Ford. But from a matchup standpoint, Washington can't stop anything, so I don't mind attacking them through the ground. I don't mind attacking them through the air as well. Jerome Ford's been involved in the passing game, so under the circumstances that the Browns happen to be losing, which they should be because we suck, he has outs to still potentially get you there because he is, quote unquote, the pass catching back in this offense right now. So Jerome Ford at a cheaper price, and nobody's playing no goddamn Browns, especially Jerome Ford. I definitely don't mind him at all. You would have to pay me money for me to play DeAndre Swift, because that's just not going to happen. I don't see a world in which that happens. But my running back pool really, as of right now, is really short. I mean, Ken Walker, I think, is a great play. The biggest part about playing Ken Walker, to me, it's a good play in general, but I think the biggest part is seeing what's going on with Malik Neighbors once we get to wide receivers. If his brain is intact and he's able to play, Ken Walker, I don't think, is as strong of a play. If there's no Malik Neighbors, Ken Walker's a smash play. 1,000%.
I like those takes. Chill, where you stand at running back?
Yeah, I mean, running back is kind of thin. I mean, there's obviously not a whole bunch of pay up options. I mean, Baker mentioned it. I think Jordan Mason is pretty much the lock button this week. I'm like, unrelated note, I might bet his touchdown prop, but it's a conversation for a different show. But again, this Cardinals defense it's not very good. This game has the potential to have a little bit of a shootout because San Francisco's defense hasn't been great either. So it could be just a good back and forth pace type of game there. So again, just to kind of piggyback off of Baker there. I think we got to look at guys like Chuba Hubbard going up against Chicago. Chuba remains at a pretty good price he's getting a ton of usage. Still putting back, solid games here. So I'm still liking Chuba Hubbard. I kind of mentioned him before, but I have two gross plays at running back. One would be Travis Etienne. If this is the week for it, again, the Colts' run defense is so bad. Like it's not very good. They make again the Colts defense they can't stop nobody. especially on the ground. So if it is the week for Travis Etienne, this would be the week. And then again, I mentioned him earlier, but Devon Achane going up against New England. He's just going to be less than 5% owned for one of the most explosive players in the league. I'm willing to take a shot on that because nobody's playing any Dolphins this week. We'll get to wide receivers here in a second, but it's going to be very rare you're going to get Tyreek Hill at less than 5%, but we'll save that. But those would kind of be my two gross plays of the week for running back. And then one more guy, Brian Robinson Jr. We saw Zamir White gain yards on this horrible Browns defense. So, again, for one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL, I think Brian Robinson Jr. is always going to be a good play, especially against the Browns at home too. So he checks a lot of boxes there.
Yeah, did you see the Raiders surpass their season rushing total in one game against the Browns?
I just knew it was bad. I'm like, Zamir White hadn't run for more than, like, it was bad.
Yeah, they had
averaging like 5 yards a game going into no bullshit.
They had a hair over 150 yards through 3 weeks, and then got well over 150 against the Browns in one singular game.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That's not good.
Pretty bad. It's not good. It's not good. I guess, I mean, sans Austin Eckler, regardless if he plays or not, I think that Brian Robinson Jr. is probably going to be a solid play at running back. I mean, like, in general, I'm not saying this game is going to shoot out because I really don't feasibly see that, but I think there's a nice mini stack in there somewhere. Like whether it's Brian Robinson or a pass catcher we'll talk about here in a second. There's some fantasy goodness to be had. And like I said, this Browns run defense can be had. Again, the Raiders had success and they can't run the ball for shit. So if they can give it up, then, or if they can get it on the Browns, so can the commies. So I like Brian Robinson Jr. as well. Do we miss anybody? Anybody else?
I mean, the only thing that you miss is the fact that you mentioned the fact that you like the ones that give it up for you.
Baker, I haven't found the ones that give it up for me.
You got 2 kids. You found somebody.
You're right. My babies.
I mean, I assume Joe Mixon may be back this week. We saw this Bills run defense get absolutely cooked by Derrick Henry.
Hey. That's my king. Our king cooks everybody. Okay.
Besides the Raiders.
You're right. He was just getting warmed up.
I mean, Joe Mixon in week 1, again, the Colts run defense is bad, but like with him in the game, it did look like Houston wanted to establish it. So I think Joe Mixon kind of becomes an intriguing play. Maybe you can comment more on James Cook, because that seems to be the biggest wild card on the Bills.
I think that if the Bills can effectively run their game plan, which they got out of really fast last week, James Cook is going to be an integral part of that. I think that especially somebody that's probably going to come in with little to no ownership in this matchup, I think he definitely makes for an interesting play this week if you want to get not necessarily just in large field, but if you want to pivot off of some of these mid-tier guys like your Ken Walkers and, guys of that nature, I think James Cook is a really nice option. The only thing that bothered me slightly was throughout the first 3 weeks, James Cook was the goal line back. He was getting the inside the 5 carries. And then their first and basically only goal line look they had last game, it was not James Cook. So it was Ty Johnson. Yeah, it was Ty Johnson. So it's like, is that a role that James Cook just succeeded on that particular carry, or is he still going to be the inside the 5 guy? So I'm not saying I love James Cook this week, but if you want to get off the reservation and again into this game somehow, because I think there's going to be points scored, James Cook is definitely an interesting way to get into it. So, and like I mentioned in quarterbacks, maybe you just go Josh Allen, James Cook, and walk away. And then run it back with Nico on the other side, or maybe like you mentioned with Joe Mixon, because they want to establish it.
That is so much money with Nico. So much.
But he's so good.
I mean, he's probably flirting with being a top 5 wide receiver.
No. Actual like NFL, or are we talking about fantasy?
Actual NFL.
No.
I think he's flirting with it.
I mean, I'm not kicking Devontae Adams out of my top 5. I'm not kicking Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Jamar Chase out of my top 5.
Hey,
Who's he removing?
Devontae Adams is removing himself from Vegas.
He has a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he has a hamstring injury, Baker.
I mean,
he sure does. Yeah, that's gonna magically heal.
He walked into Antonio Pierce's office like,
I mean, I think he could definitely take out Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He is the god of the sun. No, absolutely not. That'd be like me doing a show sober.
How many passing touchdowns does Nico Collins have this year? How many does Amon-Ra St. Brown have? I rest my case.
Uno.
I rest my case.
How many receiving touchdowns does Jared Goff have this year? How many does Travis Kelce have?
Wow.
How many does Mark Andrews have? How many Sam Laporta have?
Hold on. Sully.
Yeah.
Just take this in. Over the last 2 weeks, Jared Goff has more touchdowns than Mark Andrews has catches.
Impressive.
Rest in peace to the tight end position.
Facts, dude.
We barely knew you.
We didn't give a fuck about you to begin with.
The days of play Travis Kelce or who cares is now who cares?
Who cares?
Okay, let's talk about wide receiver. We mentioned Nico ad nauseum so far. Obviously, this matchup is just fine. The Bills continue to get more and more hurt on defense. Now their third down only pass rusher, Von Miller, suspended. I mean, it's not looking too great for anybody to solidify anything on that defense. So no one has stopped Nico Collins so far, and I don't think it's going to start here. So, and once again, like we mentioned off air, Dougie McDermott, he's got one objective.
I'm number one.
Stop that dude.
We're not letting that dude beating us.
If you don't know who that dude is, we got the revenge game for Mr. Stephon Diggs. So if I know anything about the Buffalo Bills and that coaching staff, they can get beat by anybody else. It ain't gonna be Steph. So this is another Nico Collins week, and I have no problem paying that price tag. So, but chill. Where do you stand other than Nico at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, I mean, again, I really like Debo this week. Yeah, I don't know what type of ownership he's really going to garner this week, but I do like Debo Samuel this week. I do like being somewhat into that game, whether it's Jordan Mason, Debo. I think if you're playing one of the Cardinals guys, whether it's Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't think that's a bad move either. I do like that game as a whole. The quote unquote anonymous wide receiver, we have to mention Amari Cooper. Again, Washington's defense, they can't really stop anybody. Yes, Amari had a really bad drop last week, but he also had like an 80-something yard touchdown call back. So it's not like
phantom hold.
It was a really bad call. Like, I don't really sympathize with Browns fans, but like I kind of gave him that one. I'm like, y'all kind of got screwed on that one. But so again, I mean, just taking a look here at some of these guys. Obviously, Sully, you mentioned Nico Collins. No matter what he's getting there, it just doesn't really matter. I think we all liked Michael Pittman Jr. this week before we found out Anthony Richardson was coming back. Um, although, like he did have one reception for 30 yards with Anthony Richardson in there, so like the hand was like it was starting, it was peaking.
Oh yeah, one catch for 30 yards will get us there. Chill. You're right. Yeah, one catch for 30 yards.
It was peaking. Now listen,
What's
Jacksonville's defense is horrible.
It is bad.
It is really bad.
Bad.
Again, you know, if Taylor is out, they could pass a little bit more, or Anthony Richardson could run a little bit more, I guess, in hindsight. But, you know, just kind of looking at it this week, it's not. We mentioned it, you know, DJ Moore's in the revenge game. So, again, I do like the Bears guys. So if you want to play, I think he was referred to at the old draft there as Roman Adunze. So if you want to play some Roman Adunze,
You want to acknowledge our tribal chief, Roman Adunze?
Yeah, he can go ahead and play him. Again, mention the Packers guys. Again, Reed and Wicks. I don't know, man. Wide receiver, it's kind of not very intriguing.
Listen, first of all, you need to correct a statement that you said. It wasn't the aforementioned receiver Amari Cooper I was alluding to. No. It was Jerry and Judy.
No,
this is not. Jerry Judy week. I'm telling you, I will put the 2-2 bet against anybody you want against me. It is Jerry Judy week. Book it. That's the Cleveland Brown you need in your lineup this week. I'm going with my main man, Jerry Judy. That's going to be the Brown you need. Watch, Baker. You got you got something to say to me? You got something to say? Huh?
I don't feel like I'm drunk enough. Like to fathom the words of Jerry Judy week.
It's Jerry Judy week.
The fuck are you like? Are you drunk? Are you smoking something? Are you shooting something? Snorting something? Like, what orifice or something going into your body for you to say something that asinine?
Listen, okay, so hear me out. Here's the conspiracy theory, okay? Just like we talked about off air, the Kansas City Chiefs need a receiver. And I think the only one that makes sense, minus the reuniting of a bad relationship with Tyreek Hill, is Amari Cooper. The Browns lose this game, which they will. The Commies are going to beat the Browns. Believe that. I think there's a certain guy that they may want to protect so they can trade his ass, and that's Amari Cooper. I'm not saying the snaps are going to be reduced or anything. Maybe they don't need to show him off because he's an 8-time Pro Bowler. They know what they're going to get. I think they need to pepper the investment that they made in Jerry Judy. And I think this is a guy that has shown flashes throughout the season in brief stints that he could be the guy for Deshaun Watson. Now, if you're going to consider playing him, even with the Chief coming back, hopefully, I think that against this Commies defense, they're going to be playing from behind, and I think there's going to be opportunities for some cheap ones to Jerry Judy this week. So it might be a gross play. I know it's a gross play because you already hated it, but matchup, circumstance, Jerry Judy. I'm just going with Jerry Judy, man. And then if Malik Neighbors plays, fire him up. You just got to fire up some Malik Neighbors.
I think if Malik Neighbors plays, you probably just play both of the Seahawks guys, right?
Yeah. Who are the both that you're talking about?
DK Metcalf and JSN.
I would take Tyler Lockett in that.
I would take Donkey Kong and just run Ken Walker.
But Sully, are you ready for who I'm willing to take versus versus Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Like, I want to go so far down into the abyss because I feel like that's where I need to go to be putting somebody up against Jerry Jeudy. Like, I feel like I need to give you a $3,000 receiver so you have a shot.
Stop it.
Give me Xavier Legette.
I played Xavier Legette last week. Worked out well.
It did. Like, I understand Chicago's secondary is not like a weak part of their defense, but I think the way Xavier Legette kind of earned his targets, because I was kind of fearing that he would just like downfield threat and that was all he would be. And he was earning targets in the middle of the field a decent amount. So I like that. Shout out Kirk Cousins. Can't wait to watch my boy tomorrow in primetime win again so he can, dispatch that narrative again. Sorry, I just love Kirk Cousins.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So here's the interesting thing I think this week in wide receiver. Outside of Nico Collins, who's another pay-up option that people will flock to?
I don't know about flock, but Chill did mention that this is probably going to be the lowest ownership you'll ever see on Tyreek Hill.
No, you'll see lower next week too. Tua's not coming back next week, right?
Correct.
He'll be low owned next week too. He'll be low owned until Tua comes back.
Not unless if he does something. Because as soon as you see Tyreek Hill for 3 receptions and $150, you're gonna be right back up to 20%.
What's this, fucking Randy Moss versus the Cowboys?
You saw DeAndre Swift had done shit all week. Got 30-something points. Now gonna be the chalk, Baker.
I mean, you make a valid point.
Right, hey, it's got a good point.
You got a good point.
I mean, the only pay-up option I would consider is probably Jamar, right? Because he covers himself in baby oil.
Or the Panthers can't tackle. I'm gonna go with the Panthers can't tackle more than he covers himself in baby oil.
Man, that's such a weird game.
I mean, Jamar's had success versus this Baltimore team.
Since when?
I think one of his biggest fantasy games in his career actually came versus Baltimore.
Like 2 years ago?
Dude's only been in the league 3 years.
This is still recent news.
Like, I can't remember the last time the Bengals beat the Ravens. They struggle against that team.
They do.
But you want another pay-up option, I think it's Jamar Chase, or all of us just stop at Nico and work our way down.
I mean, I feel like your pay-up option is Malik Neighbors if he plays, right?
Malik Neighbors ain't expensive enough.
He's the third highest wide receiver. Fourth?
Fifth. Right under Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, so fifth. He's in the top 5. It's a pay-up.
He should be like directly under Nico Collins right now.
He's 6th on FanDuel for what it's worth.
Right?
Fuck FanDuel. FanDuel can't even get their own slate right.
And you know why he's 6th on FanDuel? You know why?
Because of the Sunday night game.
Because CeeDee Lamb is the most expensive one on FanDuel because he's somehow in the night game on the fucking main slate.
You playing CeeDee Lamb this week?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Or are you gonna play some like chalky George Pickens?
I mean, obviously with FanDuel, it's a late swap option to go down or up to him.
Right.
What Steelers running back would you play? Out of curiosity, just talking FanDuel for a strict second. What Steelers running back would you play?
Justin Fields.
Fair.
I'd go back to Najee.
I mean, Arthur Smith's love child in fucking Cordero Patterson is most likely out this week. And as I sent in one group chat, I don't know, I'm in a million group chats. If the goal relationship wise, just to bring it back full circle to our off-air conversation, if you can find somebody who loves you the way Arthur Smith loves Cordero Patterson, you marry that person.
If you can find a person that loves Taysom Hill as much as Sean Payton does. Used to. That's love. That's real love right there.
I think if it was real love, he would have traded for him.
Traded for him, yeah.
I mean, he ain't got no tight ends.
It literally has none.
He doesn't have a damn quarterback.
That's not true.
We're working on some things.
My man threw for 60 yards in a dub.
It was a bad weather game, bro.
60 yards in a dub. That is so hilarious.
I'm gonna get back on track. As the person who says off track, I'm gonna get us back on track. Goddamn, we're talking wide receiver, Sully.
You're the one that got me to this whole love thing. Now I just want to talk about relationships.
I mean, my goal tonight is to get you off fucking kilter, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I think if we haven't mentioned it yet, the Packers wide receivers, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, and I think to a lesser extent, if the Packers receivers become a lot more popular, the perfect pivot is literally Romeo Doubs. Like, you can stay in the passing game and still get different with Romeo Doubs because you know that 2-3 touchdown game is coming at some point in time this year.
This is true. Or just play Josh Jacobs, like I mentioned.
True. Like, those are two great pivot plays. Josh Jacobs and Romeo Doubs, two fantastic pivot plays. Wouldn't play them together. Just gonna throw it out there. Zay Flowers. So, with a lot of attention to Derrick Henry, and he's going to be a popular play, what do we think of Zay Flowers? I think that's my next question for you guys.
He just played Justice Hill. He's their leading wide receiver.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. That guy is not wrong. Justice Hill looked every bit of explosive against the Buffalo Bills, and they get this guy involved. I mean, like, he is a matchup nightmare. They see him on a linebacker. It's wraps. So I think it's one of those guys that you could kind of sneakily play and probably get the production. So I actually like Justice Hill in this spot.
So I'm going to say the same thing I said to somebody earlier this week. Justice Hill is a play, and correct me if I'm wrong. So we saw week 1, Justice Hill was stupidly involved, and Derrick Henry was completely ixnayed from the offense because they were down to the Chiefs. They're throwing. Week 2, it wasn't the case. They were up. They just didn't get King Henry involved for some stupid-ass fucking reason. But I think that the thought process at least would be in Baltimore, if they're down, Justice Hill is the person involved. So if we're thinking Justice Hill is a play, I have to only play him if we're game scripting this to the point where the Ravens are down.
So what you do is that you play that game script and you play Jamar Chase on one side and Justice Hill on the other. If you have a winning game script, you just play King Henry and walk away. Is that the kind of vibe that I'm getting?
I guess so. I mean, the fucking Bengals are giving up damn near 5 yards before contact, and that scares me for Derrick Henry. For fuck's sake.
Well, at least we talk about Ravens guys that actually catch the ball. Let's talk about the ones that don't. Tight end. I'm not playing Mark Andrews. I'm not playing any tight end that is above a certain price point because tight end is a dumbass position and it sucks. You play Tucker Kraft and you walk away. That's my only tight end play this week. And whoever fits your lineup. Tight end is stupid. Y'all can talk about it. I'm not. I'm done.
He's probably not wrong. I don't mind Colby Parkinson this week. If you just need a Rams guy. If you can't afford Kyron and you want to get into that game, sure. Play what makes sense.
Cool. Great takes. Great takes.
Also, just to go back to wide receiver for 1 second, you'd probably play Deontay Johnson because he's still undervalued. Just tossing it out there. He's probably going to be the chalk again, but he's been pretty good chalk so far.
I mean, I don't hate it.
No, I
think my favorite play, if he can come back, which is very much up in the air considering the fact he had a hamstring injury, it's got like my favorite play has got to be Evan Ingram. Like without a doubt, Evan Ingram at 4,500 on DraftKings. That is not your site, freaking psychopath.
I think on FanDuel you run out the Muth. No Micah Parsons.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely could run out the Muth, getting Luth.
But besides that, I'm struggling with this Brock Bowers thing. I'm struggling because we've seen like the highs and the lows of Brock Bowers already in his short NFL career.
Baker, I would rather pay $300 more for George Kittle against the Cardinals. That man does have a reputation for absolutely nuking the Cardinals.
I mean, he has a reputation for showing out at home too, and they are at home.
And it's the pivot off of Jordan Mason.
But I've already said I'm hitting the lock button on Jordan Mason.
You play Jordan Mason. I'm going to play George Kittle stacked up or paired up with the boy Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuel, and we'll see who goes further in tournaments, sir.
If you would have only said Brock Purdy and George Kittle, I would have made you to bet that Jordan Mason outscores them both. But you threw Deebo Samuel in it, so I can't say that.
Yeah, because the other receiver that's there don't do shit. So he's just kind of there. Unless you want to run out Juwan Jennings, he's actually good.
First of all, Mike Tomlin is fantastic in San Francisco, okay?
That's who the Chiefs should trade for. Fucking Brandon fucking got his money and not doing shit, Ayuk. My God.
He is show out in fucking Cincinnati, in Kansas City.
Oh, for sure. Without question. But man, that dude has just been MIA. But I think he's damn near unplayable at this point.
Damn near.
He's gonna have a game where he breaks the slate. Like that's gonna happen, but like I don't.
It ain't week 5. It ain't week 5.
The crazy thing about Brandon Ayuk breaking the slate weeks is it'll be a 2 touchdown game, but he doesn't break it in such a way to the point you can't survive it.
He doesn't Juwan Jennings break the slate.
He doesn't Deebo Samuel break the slate.
Yeah, when Deebo breaks the that bitch is broken.
Like he puts that bitch over his knee and it's like, you need me.
Yep, you need me. Period. Can we talk about defenses real quick?
Why?
I don't know. Just because we have to, we're contractually obligated to.
We don't have a contract with defense.
We have an obligation for the people.
Patriots.
Commanders.
Reasons, I don't care.
Broncos.
All right, can we move on?
I think we just hit the most chalk defenses.
No, you guys hit the most chalk defense. The Patriots defense is not chalk.
It's 2,900 on DraftKings, bro. It's going to be chalk.
The Panthers defense will be chalkier than the Patriots. I guarantee it.
The Commies defense is 3,500 on FanDuel. That's the chalk.
That's chalk.
Yeah, like, for $500 more, I can get to the Broncos.
You can get to the Broncos.
Or on FanDuel, you can play the Panthers defense at 3,100 against Caleb Williams.
I could play Caleb Williams and the Panthers defense together.
What's this, Jameis Winston?
Why not?
Fuck it.
Good. I don't hate
YOLO.
it. Right. Fucking right.
I mean, if Malik Neighbors doesn't play, you probably just play the Seahawks, right?
That's fine too.
That's fine. Seahawks at home. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
run
gonna
DK, Ken Walker, and the defense, full send.
And I agreed with you. I agree. Well, Baker.
That's my name.
As we conclude the show tonight, I need to know, the people need to know.
Yes.
Favorite stack on this late Wednesday night?
Favorite
what are we looking at?
I mean, is injury included? So this is going to include an injury, but fuck it. Give me Trevor Lawrence. Give me Brian Thomas Jr. Give me Evan Ingram.
I really thought you were going to say your soon-to-be, hopefully, ex in Kyler Murray.
No. I'm Sully, I'm trying not to go back to her. I'm trying. I need to stay strong. I know I don't need to go back to her, but I'm weak.
I mean, she cute though. Like
She's so cute.
The short ones get me.
And she got the long hair too.
Yeah. Kyler got that long hair too.
Something wrong with us.
Yeah, I know. A lot is wrong with us. Chill. Favorite stack.
As of today,
Today,
it's probably Caleb Williams with DJ Moore and Roma Dudze.
Give me Brock. Give me George. Give me Debo. That's my favorite double.
I was torn between that one. I was going to say any version of the 49ers you want to stack, I think is fine.
Yeah, I think it could be one of them days.
If you wanted to play Jordan Mason and like Debo without Purdy, I think that's fine. I think if you want to go Purdy with Kittle and Mason, I think that's fine. I think if you just want to go Purdy with 2 pass catchers, I think it's fine.
Yeah, there you go, Baker. That's the way to include more to your lock button Jordan Mason play. just add on more 49ers.
No.
You're lost, bro. You're lost.
When Jordan Mason scores every single touchdown for the 49ers.
Baker, he can still score 3 touchdowns, but the 49ers can still score 35 points.
And like I said, the 49ers scored 35 points. He's scoring 5 touchdowns, Chill.
He's
bet that prop right now. Bet it. Put 50 on a Jordan Mason 3 touchdown game. Bet it right now. Bet it.
I don't even think it's going to be that high of a prop. I'm going to look on FanDuel, see what it is.
Yeah, you look. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night.
I don't get a bold prediction. I don't get a bold prediction.
Oh, you want to make a bold prediction? I apologize.
I want to make a bold prediction.
Okay, make a bold prediction. It's going to be something stupid. It better not be Kyler Murray related.
It's Jordan Mason related.
Bet it right now. Put the 50 on it. Put the 50 on it, Baker. Put it on it.
Well, the 50 is what he's going to score. 50 of them things. You know why they call him 50?
Lost your motherfucker.
Because he got a 50-inch vertical. He's dropping 50.
You don't lost your goddamn mind.
I ain't never had a mind to begin with.
Can't lose what you never had. That's the old adage. Can't lose what you never had.
When he drops a 50 burger, y'all gonna be sitting there in that lane window like, God damn.
Oh, you act like I'm sitting here gonna fade Jordan Mason. That ain't gonna happen. Like I don't play. I don't play a little bit of the boy. I'll play him.
That prop is not up yet.
Okay, well we'll check back in. My bold take: Jerry Jeudy over 100 yards and 2. Yeah, heard what I said. Over 102.
I heard it, but my brain's having trouble processing it.
Over 102, Jerry Jeudy.
I ain't drinking enough wine tonight.
You can keep drinking. You're really going to be drunk on Sunday when Jerry Jeudy hits that box for the second time. You're going to go, what the fuck, man?
Ain't no fucking way, bro. Ain't no way.
My soundboard, you bastard.
That's why I had to do it myself.
Chill, something bold for the people before we get out of here.
Yeah, I'll just Devon Achane go for $120 and 2.
You and this Dolphins thing, man.
Fucking Homer.
Fucking Homer.
It's my first Dolphins bold call, man.
Fucking Homer.
In my defense, I didn't put him in the playoffs. So that's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's looking great right about now. Like I said, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe on the way out. And if you have any bold takes, or if you don't like FanDuel for putting
if you don't like your ex.
Or if you don't like your ex, that's another one. Make sure you leave your comments below on the way out. But for Chill, for Baker, I have been the proprietor of this delicatessen, Sully Ali Shaheed. And we're going to go ahead and close up the shop, and we will see you all at the top. Thanks for listening. Peace.